going on, guys? JD from New York here, and this is Off the Script, bringing you all the latest in WWE news and rumors. Here is hoping for a better Rusev day. Former WWE superstar Rusev, now known as Miro, came out on his Twitch stream recently and expressed that he has now tested positive for COVID-19. This came days after his wife Lana came out publicly and stated she has also tested positive for COVID-19. Lana's mother and father also tested positive for COVID-19. Lana said her mother had to be admitted to the ICU because she had pre-existing conditions. Now, Lana had uploaded a video that was very heartfelt about the situation with her mother and her father. I tried to upload this same video with that video included to show you guys, but apparently when I had uploaded it, I got copyright striked by Fullscreen. I had no idea Fullscreen was even still a thing, but I had to remove Lana's video and I had to include this tweet. It's not as heartfelt, but it gets the job done. She says, and I quote, "My mom is out of the hospital and home resting, prayer emoji." Now, she also said in the video, if you guys want to go to her YouTube channel, you guys can see it there. It's literally the most recent video. She also stated that her father is on day 15 of the symptoms, so he's coming through as well, and all will make a full recovery. Obviously, my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone in the Rusev family, and I'm glad that everyone is on the road to recovery. A lot of people actually speculated that Rusev might show up this Saturday at Impact Wrestling's Slammiversary. Now, I don't know if there were plans to debut him on Saturday before he came out and publicly stated that he had tested positive for COVID-19. I don't think he's going to end up in Impact Wrestling. I do think he's going to find a job before the end of the year. I do think that AEW is a best fit for Rusev, and I know Jim Ross has spoken publicly very highly about Rusev. Now, Rusev might not be going over to Impact Wrestling, but he knows others that may very well end up in Impact Wrestling. EC3 is rumored to be a surprise entrant in the Impact World Championship match. He actually might end up winning the Impact World Championship on Saturday night. Heath Slater definitely is showing up on Impact Wrestling. There are rumblings that he actually might be paired with his former partner in Rhino, and we all know about Gallows and Anderson. They will definitely be there doing what? I don't know. But we all know they signed new Impact deals, which will allow them to work in the United States as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling. Rusev actually answered a question on his live stream recently about who is the best wrestler in the world, and he was asked his opinion on WWE's booking of Cesaro. He said this, and I quote, "Come on, man, what are you asking me? I'm not the booker. But as I said before, he is the greatest professional wrestler ever. So I mean, that tells you everything, or I hope it does." And then he also named his two dream opponents as Hulk Hogan and Kurt Angle, saying this, and I quote, "I want to wrestle Hogan for sure. I've been in the ring with him, but I haven't wrestled him, obviously. But yeah, I want to wrestle Hogan or Kurt Angle," Rusev revealed. Kurt Angle for sure. I love Kurt. Kurt is probably my favorite. You know, him and Hogan are 1 and 2. But work-wise, I would definitely take, I don't know, man. It's really hard. That's what I'm saying. Well, I'll say Hogan because Hogan was always number 1 to me. Kurt eventually became number 1, but Hogan was just the reason why I'm freaking here. He loves Cesaro. Everybody loves Cesaro. I think everybody is in the same boat when they talk about Cesaro. One of the most underutilized guys in the history of WWE. He should have been a world champion 10 times over in the company, but he was never given a fair shot. It pains me, personally, to see Rusev being used as a secondary bench player. He is used as a guy to fill into a role when WWE legitimately has no other choices to turn to. He is a bench player in WWE, and absolutely, if he went anywhere else, he would be a world champion. No question. There's no one more consistent than Cesaro in the WWE, and he absolutely deserves better than what he's been given right now in that company. Speaking of Impact Wrestling, let's go back and backtrack a little bit. Don Callis actually dropped a big tease about somebody we already know that is heading to Impact Wrestling. He actually had a live stream with Impact Wrestling. And this new tease from Don Callis is just icing on the cake. The big question is who else might be coming. He says this, and I quote,
A former world champion is coming. We know that, I guess they're not coming alone. So we're not just in for a surprise. I think we're in for a surprise days.
Sorry. Big mosquitoes down here in Georgia, Jimmy. You know, you literally need a machine gun to take care of these mosquitoes here in Georgia. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that silly Don Callis. He has a way with words, doesn't he? I wonder who he could be talking about, machine gun. Really? Really? Man, oh man, why don't you just fucking tell us at that point? I'll let you guys know if I actually watch Slammiversary this Saturday. I might actually be live on YouTube talking about it, so I'll let you guys know. Follow me on Twitter, at JD from NY206. Charlotte Flair explains her recent WWE actions, why she's out, and why she opted to go for elective surgery. Charlotte Flair has taken to Twitter to explain her current absence from WWE and how it relates to her history of elective surgery. Charlotte Flair hasn't been on WWE TV since June 22nd. Oh, really? It's only been that long? Should be longer. That was an episode of Raw when the company wrote her off TV via a storyline arm injury inflicted by Botch. You know who that is. Flair has previously stated that she would be out a number of weeks, but there were some reports suggesting that it could be longer than that. So she actually took to Twitter and she clarified the situation, which reads as follows, and I quote, "My air conditioning is broken, and we have a little free time. These tweets may be spaced out a bit, but we're going to take some time and talk about it. Plastic surgery and boobs," is what she says. "The entire world having an opinion on the topic bothers me more than I care to let on, so we are going to discuss it. I'm going to save the history of my boobs for a different story." So picture it. Charlotte, North Carolina, 2018, a young queen, a young android, shortly after a career-defining WrestleMania victory, finds herself sicker than sick at her brother's house. A trip to the doctor tells us that the likely culprit is silicone poisoning, and that my implant has been leaking for quite some time. It was one of the worst cases the doctor had ever seen. At that time, I had a few options to fix the issue. Each option had a specific recovery time. I love this job more than anything, so I picked the option that allowed me to return the soonest. That was the choice I made. Fast forward to a few months ago, something felt off, so I went back to the doctor. Same issue again. This time, I'm going with an option that I believe will solve the issue long time. Even though the recovery period is a little bit longer than I would like. To clarify, I do not have silicone poisoning this time. The surgery is cosmetic to fix an issue from a prior surgery. I'll be back when I'm ready. The body will be rested and the mind will be focused. My batteries will be charged. She didn't say that, I just added that because AKA Android. And legacy will be focused on. Focused on this job, focused on being better, always being better. End quote. So there you go, folks. From the android to everybody on social media, she is out for those reasons. Hopefully she stays out, and I have additional information. And I say that I hope she stays out because it's better for the women's division in the long run. I do not think if Charlotte Flair was there, we would have seen Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. But I will say this. I hope she's happy. I hope she's healthy. That's number one, and number two, right out of the gate. But I will say this. I have more information on Charlotte this coming weekend on Off the Script. There are rumblings now that she may very well miss SummerSlam, and whatever WWE had planned for her is now on the back burner. WWE might have penciled in a new Women's Championship match at SummerSlam, and believe me, folks, this is a match that everyone can get excited about. And if they let these two particular women go, it could absolutely be the best women's match of the entire year. So I'll save that for the weekend's podcast right here on Off the Script. WWE may have spoiled the stipulation for Drew McIntyre versus Dolph Ziggler at Extreme Rules. All we heard was that this was going to be something we've never seen before. WWE may have spoiled the stipulation for the WWE Championship match at Extreme Rules, or someone in their graphics department is a complete fucking idiot. There is a targeted Facebook ad going around that lists the match between Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler as... Look at this, folks. Are you fucking serious? A tables, ladders, and chairs match at Extreme Rules. Now, we know WWE has the tendency to clickbait the shit out of everything, every chance that they get. They even had Drew McIntyre, I believe with Newsweek, they had Dolph Ziggler go on the bump and express how this was going to be different, much different than anything we've ever seen before, ever in the WWE, that we've never seen anything like it in the WWE before. Meanwhile, this graphic says that it's a tables, ladders, and chairs match. I remember seeing them very often in the WWE. By the way, don't you have a tables, ladders, and chairs pay-per-view at the end of the year called TLC? Why are you having, if this is right, this could be a complete swerve for all we know, but if this is legit, why are you having a TLC match at Extreme Rules in July, knowing you have a TLC pay-per-view with that same type of match stipulation to happen in December at the end of the year? Why would you do that? This is another reason why these gimmick pay-per-views, Hell in a Cell, TLC, Elimination Chamber, all of these gimmick, pay Money in the Bank even, because that doesn't even feel the same. All these gimmick pay-per-views need to die a miserable death. Now, I liked my idea of them playing poker. I really do. Dolph Ziggler even stated that Drew McIntyre showed his face. I would love if they sat down and played fucking poker. They played bowling, they played mini golf, they had a decathlon, they had all this other shit with the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders. They had a fucking karaoke contest on SmackDown on Friday. I would gladly watch Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler play a tournament. A nice little fucking 50-minute, 60-minute poker game for the WWE Championship. That would be more entertaining than anything on recent WWE television. Really. Really. This is ridiculous. If this is the stipulation for that, WWE should absolutely be ashamed for using both Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler to sell a match that genuinely nobody has an interest in. Does anybody truly believe Dolph Ziggler's gonna beat Drew McIntyre and become the WWE Champion? I don't even think Dolph Ziggler believes Dolph Ziggler can win the WWE Championship. What a complete waste of fucking time. This entire match and this entire show is going to be on Sunday night. Bayley and Sasha Banks, the backbone of WWE, by the way, lately anyway. Bayley and Sasha Banks call out Trish Stratus and Lita for a tag team match at SummerSlam. Bayley and Sasha Banks already have their sights set on SummerSlam, clearly not with one another, but with Trish Stratus and Lita. The WWE Women's Tag Team Champions successfully retained the titles over the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, on Monday on Raw. Following the match, Bayley took to her official Twitter account where she made it clear that the tag team of both Bayley and Sasha Banks want to take on WWE Hall of Famers Lita and Trish Stratus at SummerSlam. It should be noted that there has been no talk of Lita or Trish Stratus working this show. It could be a way for the champs just to get fans talking, which I do believe is the situation happening here. It was reported on Monday that WWE had torn up the original card for SummerSlam, which I also have news on Off the Script this weekend. Bayley wrote the following on Twitter. Bayley writes, and I quote, "Let's see, another dream match down, another victory won, so after we get all the gold at Extreme Rules, we will take Lita and Trish at SummerSlam. Thank you. #Raw. Now, I don't think that this match is happening at SummerSlam, All signs point to Bayley versus Sasha and the deterioration of their friendship and their tag team leading into SummerSlam for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I would like to see Lita and Trish Stratus versus Sasha and Bayley. In fact, I actually pitched that very idea and that very match when the inaugural event was Elimination Chamber for the Women's Tag Team Championships. WWE went about it in the most uncreative and lazy way. They put 6 teams inside an Elimination Chamber at the pay-per-view for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Some teams advanced via wins on TV. Some teams were just placed inside that match without actually having to qualify. So half of the field qualified and half of the field did not qualify. You thought I forgot about that, right? Oh, I don't forget, motherfucker. I don't forget. Instead of actually having a tournament and making the tag team championships feel, I don't know, important, and having Sasha and Bayley go to the finals and actually putting teams together that made sense, having Trish and Lita in the tournament, building that tournament on Raw and on SmackDown, giving those shows meaning, and the tournament leading to WrestleMania with Sasha and Bayley going over Trish and Lita. Not only would it be historic in the first moments of the Women's Tag Team Championships, but Sasha and Bayley would be beating 2 legit Hall of Famers for that championship. By all means, even that makes the title seem more important on who they beat. I don't understand why WWE didn't go about that. If you're going to give me this match at SummerSlam, fine. I am for it. I really am. I even stated on my Monday Night Raw review, Bayley and Sasha Banks are doing some of the best work of their careers right now that I don't even think I want to see them broken up right now. But we don't know what the mentality is of both of those women. For all I know, Sasha Banks may be actually holding off on this Bayley versus Sasha match for the SmackDown Women's Championship until there are fans in attendance. There are rumblings that WWE is looking to have live events with actual fans in September. Maybe they want that before they go ahead and proceed with the match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. If I know anything about Sasha Banks, that is something that she could definitely be thinking. Now, if it doesn't happen at SummerSlam, when does it happen? Does it happen at Hell in a Cell? Does it happen at Survivor Series? What difference does it make if it happens at SummerSlam or the Survivor Series? They're both emanating out of the same place. It really doesn't matter at this point, which goes back to what I just previously stated. Maybe Sasha and Bayley are thinking, why don't we hold off on this thing a little bit? Everybody loves what we're doing. We are the best thing on TV right now. We are holding this company up on our backs. Women's wrestling has been okay with us leading the way right now. Maybe we'll wait till fans are in attendance and then we can kick this thing off and really go at it 100%. WWE is not afraid to have a big-time match at a B-level pay-per-view. Remember Sasha and Becky for the Raw Women's Championship when Sasha came back last year. That was one of the best Hell in a Cell matches that this company has ever put on. It's one of the best women's matches of all time, in my honest opinion. So WWE is not afraid to do a major match at a B-level pay-per-view like that. The only thing that would be a takeaway from this, the only thing that would really be shitty, is that SummerSlam weekend kind of revolves around the history of what Bayley and Sasha Banks did at that first takeover in Brooklyn. The time of the year is just very close to their hearts, and it's going to be a throwback to what they did 5 years ago in Brooklyn. So we will see what happens. If WWE wants to go ahead and do this, which I don't think is the case, I don't think they're going to bring in Lita and Trish. Edge is not going to be there due to injury. I'm hearing rumors of Brock Lesnar not even being there because WWE doesn't want to bring him in if there's no fans. So if they don't want to bring in Brock Lesnar, why would they bring in Trish and Lita? I honestly think that WWE goes full steam ahead with the plans for SummerSlam, and that will be Bayley versus Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And for the final story right here on Off the Script Extra, guys, Matt Hardy is worried about the current Jeff Hardy storyline on SmackDown in WWE. Jeff Hardy, as we all know, returned from injury, and it was lengthened because of a DUI and a stay in rehab. Now he is back in the WWE and preparing for a bar fight. Yes, a bar fight against Sheamus at Extreme Rules. One fan tweeted out about Jeff Hardy And Alex McCarthy of TalkSport replied, and then Matt Hardy replied to said tweet. The tweet reads as follows, and I quote, "Jeff Hardy is being presented as a junkie." A lot of people were asking, why am I saying junkie? It's the way Sheamus says junkie. He's being presented as a junkie with no reason to celebrate his time with us. What if he relapsed? This is a common concern for a lot of people, especially considering the storyline that he is in. Matt Hardy tweeted out and replied to this concern for his younger brother. He is very happy to be in AEW, but he echoes the same worries about his brother. He says, and I quote, "I'm very happy with how AEW has let me brand my persona, allowing me to help younger talent on and off screen, while also respectfully celebrating my legacy and contributions to the industry. I have those same concerns about the unneeded pressure on my brother." I think a lot of people now are sharing the same sentiments as Matt Hardy. At first, me personally, I didn't really find an issue with this storyline. In fact, I actually praised WWE for going outside of their comfort zone and outside of their box. Was it creative? No. Was it low? Yes. But it was a different vibe to SmackDown. And it seemed like WWE was actually correcting their mistakes from the way that they booked the Intercontinental title tournament. They had Sheamus and Jeff Hardy in the same match on the same side of the tournament instead of building the entire tournament around them. And it didn't really factor right into the creative side of SmackDown. I actually did not mind the DUI where he injured Elias and he was framed because of Sheamus. Sheamus wanted to take him out of the tournament because he lost to Jeff Hardy in that first round. I didn't mind that. Then WWE week after week after week after week have beaten you over the head that Jeff Hardy is an alcoholic, Jeff Hardy's a junkie, Jeff Hardy's a drug addict, Jeff Hardy's a loser, his family doesn't like him, his family thinks he's a disappointment. Every single week, piss tests, putting him in front of alcohol. I don't know. I'm not an alcoholic. I've never been through that struggle. If you are watching me and have been through what Jeff Hardy has been through, or at least a little bit of what Jeff Hardy has been through, how do you feel? Not only realizing that this is fucked up, but how do you feel about Jeff Hardy being in front of all of that alcohol? Imagine you were placed in front of all of that alcohol. How would you feel? Did you feel uncomfortable watching Jeff Hardy go through what he had to go through? Do you like this storyline? I know I don't. I can't wait for it to be fucking over. At this point, it's not even a redemption of Jeff Hardy anymore. Seems like it's a redemption of WWE on Jeff Hardy because he fucked up on their watch and they're looking to get back at him and looking to embarrass him. That's the way I see it. Now, does Jeff Hardy want to be in the WWE? I don't know. Did Jeff Hardy give okay to this storyline? I don't give a shit what was on his documentary recently on the WWE Network. They'll give you whatever on there and push it as if it's right. They're never going to give you the truth behind anything there. He might be saying, yes, I gave the okay for this, simply because he's on camera. But all I know is WWE isn't his family because family doesn't treat him that way. Or family wouldn't treat him that way. His family is in AEW. His family in this business is Matt. I do believe in my heart of hearts that Matt is out there sending smoke signals to Jeff Hardy. I'm happy in AEW, and Matt Hardy's speaking up about it because he's genuinely concerned that Jeff is not on his watch. He's concerned that WWE is really facilitating more pressure and struggles on Jeff Hardy. And I feel like Matt Hardy is sending smoke signals out to his brother Jeff. Hey, I'm happy in AEW, and it's almost as if he's trying to speak to Jeff Hardy. I know you're not happy. Please come and join me where I am happy. All I know is this is an embarrassing storyline for Jeff Hardy. WWE should be ashamed of themselves. And I don't really understand why Sheamus has a problem with Jeff Hardy's alcoholism. What difference does it make? Why does it bother Sheamus so much? Yes, it makes Sheamus look like a prick, but I don't see why Sheamus would have a problem if Jeff Hardy wants a drink or not. It doesn't really make sense to me. The bar fight cannot end any sooner, and I hope that they can move on from this. And who knows, WWE might push Jeff Hardy into another storyline, and this might be a recurring thing on his way out of the WWE, and they may look to embarrass him on his way out. Who knows if Jeff Hardy's going to end up staying with the WWE or not? We'll soon find out, as his contract literally has less than a year left on its WWE contract. I am getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much for all of your support. If you enjoyed this extra today, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you missed any of my other content on the channel, go and check it out. Everything you need is linked down below in the description. And follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206. This has been Off the Script, and I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite live right here on YouTube. See you guys then.